Guys, Courtney Kidd from the Floyd County School of Innovation. I am here today to talk to you all about my grant, Manufacturing Young Engineers. This is a grant that I'm actually really passionate about. Out of the few that I did this year, I feel like this is the one that kind of kickstarted some of the ideas that I had for some of my other grants. Throughout the course of this, I'll talk to you about the inspiration, the purpose, the plan of action, like how I'm actually going to spend the money and what I hope to achieve with my students. And then we'll talk a little bit about sustainability. How is this something that we can continue to do with my classes, not only this year, but in years to come? So the inspiration behind this project actually comes from the engineering pathway that we have selected to offer as a school. We are working on computer integrated manufacturing. The students are taking Project Lead the Way courses with me currently, where they can work toward those certifications in 3D design. With that being said, our district, our schools, they were completely on board with helping me to actually process and fund some glow forges to use in the engineering classroom. And that kind of prompted where I wanted to take this project. Not only is this project used to teach technical concepts to my students, but it is going to help with like finance. It's going to help with business ethics, engineering design, with the entire process that they would need for actual marketing of their own creations. The purpose behind this, because we do have the CNC machine already and we already have Glowforge, it was an opportunity for me to be able to offer the students, the ability to create something that was there. So what I have put in front of them is actually the idea of them opening their own sales department or their own store in a sense. The students will be allowed to market items that they've created using our supplies, but this grant will help us buy some of the things that we need to get that started. For instance, we've looked at like acrylic LED night lights that could be personalized and marketed to families, especially during the holidays or for birthdays or for celebrations. The students picked out cutting boards that could be engraved with personal messages, recipes, things like that. We looked at stuff that the student body may be more interested in, like key fobs, keychains, just like personalized magnets. We thought about that for our sports teams, maybe like school names, numbers, all that kind of stuff. And then we also looked at just purchasing some wood, like a Baltic birch, that could be cut on our machines for the idea of them being able to take orders for customized pieces. With this, because the project is completely, it's pretty much consisting of consumables, we had to figure out a way to make this something that was sustainable for the students in the class. So with the marketing idea, we plan to use any of our return revenue or our funding to replenish our supplies, so to keep it as an ongoing source. One of the things that we were surprised to find out is that this not only could work as a classroom assignment, but so many competitions are offered for young entrepreneurs. I actually have a group of 4 girls that are kind of jumping into this, and they're going to try to start like a school store for their classmates. So very curious to see how far they can take that this year. And I look forward to it being something that we can offer continually because of that funding. As far as the money goes, you can see the breakdown. A big chunk of it did go to buying the supplies to make the LED night lights. But we do think that that may be one of our larger revenue intakes. So we are looking at starting those. Again, the wood, the cutting boards, the keychains. You can kind of see the breakdown for that, and it does fall right at that 1,000 ARI grant amount. And these were some images that we actually pulled for some of the stuff that we had thought about. These are the acrylic nightlight bases. We did a series, we did black and white. The 2 covered pieces there are actually acrylic that can be cut. We purchased mainly clear this time so we could use the alternating colors. And you can kind of see a sample there of what those acrylic night lights will look like when they're finished. As far as marketing and pricing, we have not developed that yet. We're still waiting on some of the items to ship. So once they've said that, I'll actually be able to provide you with a price list to talk about the monetary income that we came up with. Christmas ornaments, we did purchase some of the wood discs with some of the funding so we could market those this winter. This is an example of the wooden magnet that I was talking about. We intended it to be more of like a school support thing. This is particular one is a save the date. And then you can see both the leather and acrylic keychains. So very interested to see some of the designs that they come up with and how they actually decide to market these items. Students have addressed they intend to use social media. They're going to do brochure sales, and we've even talked about doing sales booths at our feeder high schools, especially during like ball games, things like that. We want them to be able to sell their own personal designs, not just to friends and family, but also our community members. We want the community to realize that we are engrossed in trying to get our students to an actual career pathway. So looking at things like profit margin, looking at revisions they need to make, time, are all of those things playing a factor into the way that we are creating the products that we are. Like I said earlier, this is something that can be continual. We entirely are looking, any of the funding that we do gain back, we want to use that to buy supplies for future SIM or manufacturing classes. And we are also planning to fund part of our TSA chapter supplies using funding from this project. So the sustainability, the assessment, the outlook for this, I'm really hopeful about it. And I hope we can get some of these products off of the ground in time to show you some of their awesome work in the spring.